Welcome to the Kat Scrappiness Meet the Quouses video hop. You wondering what a quouse is? It's a combination quokka and mouse, like shown here on the new release stamp set. This is the Quickie the Quokka stamp set. To participate in the hop, click on the link in the description box below for a list of videos by the Kat Scrappiness creative crew. To enter to win a gift card to the Kat Scrappiness online store, click the Rafflecopter entry form. Link also in the description box below. You can complete an entry form at each stop along the hop for more chances to win. Remember to show some love by thumbs upping and subscribing to the videos. Now let me show you the rest of the Meet the Quouses release. Like I said, this is Quickie the Quokka. We have Quinny the Quokka, and then we have Meet the Quouses. And this is the set I'm using today. We are going to do some cheater ink blending, starting off with some medium blue colored cardstock. I'm going to do some, like I said, cheater ink blending, starting with some Chip Sapphire dye ink. And I'm going to come along, I'm creating a night scene. I want to use the fireworks on the Meet the Quouses, or from the Meet the Quouses stamp set. And so I'm going to create a night sky with a glow in the middle where the fireworks are exploding, because they would be causing, like I said, a glow. So I'm just blending this dark blue ink around the outside perimeter, leaving a spot for my grasses that the quouses will be sitting on. So I'm not going all the way to the bottom of the page. This area here will be my glow. And I'm just using two colors, the Chip Sapphire, and after I get the Chip Sapphire down, then we are going to use Black Soot. And this is Distress ink, and it is a dye ink. You can use any dye ink to get a similar look. I'm going to speed this up to in the interest of time. I used the Slimline grass border die to cut out a patch of grass for beneath the, or for the bottom of the scene, and we're going to do some cheater ink blending with this also. And I'm using Forest Moss dye ink, or Forest Moss Distress ink for this. And we're going to just come along the bottom, darken up a little kind of a U shape here, darken up the blades of grass a little. What I was saying before was that I used the Slimline die to cut the patch of grass out, but I trimmed it down to 4 1/4 so it will fit on my A2 card base. Here I've just laid out my scene in my stamp positioner, so I know where to put my fireworks from the Meet the Quouses stamp set. This is a 4x4 stamp set, and we are just going to position these towards the top of our little scene here. And move my magnets. I'm going to show you a trick after I do the heat embossing to get my pearl powders to show different colors in our fireworks. So I'll pick those up with my stamp positioner door. And then I can move everything out of the way. It's not to accidentally get Versamark ink, or any other embossing ink will work. Ink up my stamps. And I like to stamp them twice to make sure that I get a good coverage of that sticky embossing ink. On my panel. That was the first time. Make sure my card panel is back in the corner. Ink up my stamps again. Apply some pressure. And usually after the second stamping, you can see the moisture from the embossing ink on your panel. Just close that up, grab a scrap piece of paper and some clear embossing powder. And I use superfine embossing powder on my stamped images. Ooh, that did not turn out well. It's really sticking to that ink blending. Try to get as much of that off as I can. I have a little brush here. Oh, I forgot it's got pearl powder on it. Okay, I'm spazzing here. And I should have added my anti-static powder. I forgot, and that would have ensured that the embossing powder only stuck to where the Versamark ink was. Okay, I'm going to bring my heat tool to the back of my panel and melt the embossing powder. Okay, now what we're going to do is, bring my little scrap under here, is using pearl powder in gold, pink, and bronze. It's misspelled on here, it says bronze, but it's bronze. We are going to add some pearl powder to our embossed. First I want to make sure this is a little cooled down. We're going to add it to our embossing. Then we're going to reheat it to melt it into the embossing. I'm going to start by putting my pearl powder into the fireworks, just brushing some on top. It doesn't take very much. Just add some of this gold to the center of this one. And I'm going to brush it off, or I'll tap off the excess on my little container here, hopefully not dumping that over, and then brush off the excess onto a cloth, the microfiber cloth. Cover that up and bring in the bronze, or let's bring in the red next. Or I'm sorry, pink. Tap a little bit of my brush in there, and I'm going to go around the outside of the gold. Just making sure that embossing has some pearl powder on top of it. Clean off my brush. And then some bronze. outside of our large firework here. Clean off my brush. And then I'm going to lift up my panel here and I'm going to heat it again from underneath. Just long enough. You'll see a slight change in the embossed image, so you have to watch for it. You don't want to overheat it. Okay, now I'm going to tap off the excess onto my scratch paper here. I'm going to kind of wave it around so it'll cool down a little bit. While I'm waiting for that to cool down, I'm going to just cover that one up. I'm not sure if it reheated the entire... I'm going to bring the heat to it one more time. Okay, then we're going to take our microfiber cloth and we're just going to brush off the excess. And take a look at those fireworks. By remelting that embossing powder, it really grabs onto that pigment ink. And I'll show you the difference between just putting the Versamark down. Where did my little sample go? Okay, here's my sample that is just the Versamark ink without the embossing powder. And here's the sample with the embossing powder. Quite a big difference. Okay, let's assemble this card. Just going to use my desktop to line up this panel with the grass. There we go, give it a press. Let the glue grab hold. Then I'll bring my Quoses. I need my tweezers. Add some liquid adhesive. There we go. Now I'm going to take some Copic markers and I'm just going to go around the white border of my die cut to disguise the outline here. This is my completed card. We've got all that shine from that pearl powder and trapping it with the double heat embossed embossing powder. I'm not adding a sentiment to this card until I know who the recipient is, but there are several sentiments on the stamp sets that you can add. Here is some more inspiration for these stamp sets, and I forgot to mention they also have coordinating die sets that you can order along with them. Thanks for watching my video today. Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I think that's it. Thanks for everything. Bye-bye.